What is respect and why is it important? Hello, friends. Today, we will discuss the most important question: how to become a person respected by others. In the modern world, respect is difficult to earn, but it opens doors for us, helps to build strong relationships, and achieve success. In this video, we will analyze the principles of Stoic philosophy that will help us strengthen our character and earn the respect of others. First, it is important to understand what respect is. Many people confuse it with fear, admiration, or popularity, but in fact, respect is the recognition of your inner qualities, your resilience, honesty, and wisdom. This is not something that can be bought or imposed by force. It is something that can only be earned. 1. Respect begins with self-respect. Seneca said, "Learn to respect yourself, then others will learn." The first step to earning the respect of others is respect for yourself. This means that we must live according to our principles, not betray ourselves, and not seek external approval. Real-life example: imagine two employees in the same company. One is constantly seeking approval from his superiors, trying to please, but does not have clear convictions. The second is a man of principles, who acts honestly and fairly, even if it is not always profitable. Who of them commands more respect? Obviously, the second one. Second, control over emotions. The Stoics believe that the path to true respect lies through control over your emotions. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If you are upset, the problem is not with things, but with your attitude towards them." People respect those who know how to remain calm in difficult situations. Example: imagine a person who loses his composure at the slightest difficulty. His colleagues do not respect him because he cannot control himself. Now, imagine another person who is always calm, balanced, and solves problems coolly. This is a person who people go to for advice, who they trust and respect. 3. Responsibility for your life. Epictetus said, "It is not circumstances that make a man, but his attitude towards them." A person who takes responsibility for his actions commands respect. No one respects those who look for excuses and blame others. Example: two friends start a business. One runs into difficulties and says, "I was just unlucky." The other analyzes his mistakes, takes responsibility, and looks for solutions. Who will be respected more? Obviously, the second one. 4. Sincerity and honesty. People respect those who tell the truth, even if it is inconvenient. The Stoics valued sincerity and directness, but without rudeness and aggression. An honest person is a person who can be trusted. Example: there are two people in a team. One always says what they want to hear, and the other is honest, but tactful. When it comes time to make an important decision, who will they turn to for an opinion? Of course, to the second one. 5. Consistency and discipline. Seneca wrote, "Consistency and convictions is what makes a man worthy of respect. If a person says one thing and does another, he will not be respected." Consistency and discipline form a reputation. Example: an athlete who trains every day, even when he does not feel like it, commands respect. The same applies to any business, be it work, study, or personal relationships. What habits and actions help to earn respect? Now it's time to talk about What specific habits and actions will help you become a person respected by others? The Stoics believe that character is formed not by words, but by daily actions. Let's look at what habits contribute to respect. 1. The habit of keeping your word. One of the key elements of respect is the ability to keep promises. Seneca said, "Be a person who can be relied upon. When you give your word, keep it." This creates a reputation as a reliable person who can be turned to in any situation. Example: imagine two colleagues. One always promises to help, but constantly finds excuses. The other says little, but if he takes on an obligation, he fulfills it to the end. It is obvious which of them will be respected more. 2. Refusal of empty talk and gossip. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it does not concern you, do not waste your time on it." People respect those who do not waste their energy discussing other people's lives, but focus on developing themselves and their own affairs. Example: there are two people at work. One constantly discusses other people's mistakes and the personal lives of colleagues, and the other is focused on his own business. Who will be trusted with important projects and listened to? Of course, the one who does not throw empty words around. 3. Showing respect for others. Respect breeds respect. Epictetus said, "Treat others as you would like to be treated." This means that it is important not only to demand respect, but also to show it to others. Listen to their opinions, recognize their merits, be polite. Example: there is a manager in the team who never listens to his employees and does not notice their efforts. The other, on the contrary, thanks for the efforts, listens carefully to ideas, and respects the contribution of each. Obviously, the second will inspire more respect. 4th, ability to admit mistakes. The Stoics taught that admitting your mistakes is not a weakness, but a strength. A person who can say, "I was wrong and I will fix it," deserves respect because he demonstrates maturity and responsibility. Example: there are two managers in a company. One, having made a mistake, finds someone to blame and justifies himself. The second one honestly admits the mistake, takes responsibility, and offers solutions. Who will the employees respect? Obviously, the second one. 5. Self-development and self-improvement. Seneca wrote, "Every day we must become better than yesterday." People respect those who do not stand still, but constantly develop, be it intellectually, physically, or emotionally. Example: two friends are starting a career. One is content with what he already knows. The other is constantly learning new things, reading, improving his skills. After a few years, the second one becomes a respected professional, and the first one remains at the same level. The conclusion is obvious. Mistakes that destroy respect. Now let's talk about the mistakes that can destroy respect. The Stoics believe that respect can be lost much faster than it can be earned, so it is extremely important to avoid actions that undermine trust and authority. 1. Hypocrisy and the discrepancy between words and actions. Seneca wrote, "People trust their eyes more than their ears. Therefore, be what you want to appear to be." If a person declares high principles but does not live up to them in life, his words lose value. Hypocrisy evokes contempt, not respect. Example: imagine a manager who encourages employees to work hard, but is constantly late and wasting time. People quickly notice the discrepancy between words and actions, and respect for such a person disappears. 2. Complaining and looking for the guilty. Epictetus said, "Do not look for the guilty, but look for ways to solve." People respect those who take responsibility for their lives, not those who constantly complain about circumstances and blame others for their failures. Example: 2 people lost their jobs. One blames the boss, the crisis, injustice. The other analyzes his mistakes, looks for new opportunities, and develops. Who will be respected more? Obviously the second one. 3. Excessive emotionality and irascibility. The Stoics believe that control over emotions is a sign of inner strength. A person who easily loses his temper loses respect because he shows his weakness. Example: a boss yells at employees at the slightest mistake. As a result, people do not respect him, but are afraid of him. And another manager calmly explains what was done wrong and helps to correct the situation. The second one is respected because he controls himself. 4. Lack of honesty and manipulation. People value truth and sincerity. A person who manipulates others may gain temporary benefits, but respect for him quickly disappears. Example: a colleague promises to help, but then uses other people's ideas for his own interests. As a result, he loses trust and respect. On the contrary, an honest person who always keeps his word gains a reputation as a reliable person. 5. Lack of self-development. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Every day learn how to live." A person who stops developing loses respect, because the world moves forward and he remains in one place. Example: 2 specialists work in the same field. One continues to study, learns new technologies. The other remains at the level of knowledge from 10 years ago. After a few years, the first is respected as an expert, and the second is considered an outdated specialist. How to behave in conflict situations so as not to lose respect. Let's discuss one of the most difficult aspects: how to behave in conflict situations so as not to lose the respect of others. The Stoics believe that true strength is manifested in the ability to remain calm and wise even in difficult circumstances. 1. Maintain composure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The greatest retribution for an insult is not to be like the offender." In a conflict, it is important not to give in to emotions. If you lose control, you lose respect. People appreciate those who are able to keep their cool. Example: 2 managers are faced with a serious problem. One starts yelling at employees and blaming them. The other calmly analyzes the situation and offers solutions. It is obvious which of them will be respected more. 2. Don't be afraid to admit your mistakes. The Stoics taught that admitting your mistakes is a manifestation of strength, not weakness. A person who's willing to learn and adjust their behavior commands more respect than someone who stubbornly stands their ground, even if they are wrong. Example: at a meeting, a coworker points out your mistake. One option is a defensive reaction and an attempt to justify yourself. Another is to thank them for the comment and correct the situation. The second approach commands more respect. 3. Do not use aggression and manipulation. Epictetus said, A person who is irritated with another makes himself a slave to someone else's behavior. If you resort to aggression, shouting, or manipulation in a conflict, respect for you will fade. True strength is manifested in the ability to solve problems without pressure and threats. Example: in an argument, one person gets personal while the other calmly argues his position. Who looks more worthy? Of course, the one who knows how to conduct a discussion without emotions and attacks. 4. Listen to your interlocutor and show respect. The Stoics taught that it is important not only to speak, but also to listen. People respect those who can listen carefully to someone else's point of view, even if they don't agree with it. Example: two colleagues are discussing a disagreement. One interrupts and imposes his opinion. The other listens patiently, asks questions, and shows interest. The second one commands more respect because he shows maturity and self-control. 5. Act on principles, not emotions. Stoic philosophy teaches us to make decisions based on our values and reason, not on momentary emotions. If you follow your principles and remain true to your beliefs, people will respect you, even if they don't always agree with you. Example: you are being dragged into a scandal, but instead of giving in to provocation, you calmly defend your position, relying on facts and logic. This commands respect. How to maintain and strengthen respect in the long term. Let's talk about how to not only maintain respect, but also strengthen it year after year. The Stoics believed that respect is not a one-time success, but the result of constant work on yourself. 1. Be consistent in your actions. Seneca said, "Great things require time and consistency." People respect those who do not change their beliefs to suit circumstances, but act in accordance with internal principles. Example: a manager who treats subordinates fairly under any circumstances commands respect, and one who behaves differently depending on the situation loses trust. 2. Continue self-development. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The higher a person rises, the more he must work on himself. The more you develop, the more respect you deserve." Constant learning, improving skills, intellectual and spiritual growth make you a valuable person in the eyes of others. Example: two specialists started their careers together. One stopped at what he had achieved, the other was constantly learning. After 10 years, the second is respected for his knowledge and experience, and the first is forgotten. 3. Take care of your reputation. Reputation is formed over the years, but can be destroyed in an instant. The Stoics taught that it is important to carefully protect your honor and act in a way that you can be proud of yourself. Example: an entrepreneur who does business honestly, even in difficult conditions, gains the respect of clients and partners, and the one who deceives for profit quickly loses trust. Practice gratitude and generosity. Epictetus said, "Do not demand gratitude, but be grateful yourself." People respect those who appreciate the help of others, know how to recognize others' merits, and provide support when needed. Example: a boss who notes the achievements of employees and thanks for their contribution commands respect, and the one who considers the success of the team exclusively his merit loses authority. 5. Watch your words. Words have power. The Stoics taught us to speak meaningfully and thoughtfully. A person who can clearly and sensibly express their thoughts commands more respect than one who speaks a lot but without meaning. Example: one leader promises a lot but does nothing. Another says little, but every word he says carries weight. It is obvious who will be respected more. That's the end of our series on how to become a person respected by others. The main thing to remember is that respect is not the result of chance, but the consequence of daily actions. Act consistently, develop, show strength of character, and the respect of others will become a natural result of your life. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to the channel, like, and share this video with your friends. See you there.